What did Cubans who voted for Trump think? Did they think they were special?
What's up, guys? It's finding out season for the Cubans.
Donald Trump signed an executive order which says they have 30 days to leave the country. If not, they'll be rounded up and not sent back to Venezuela, nor Cuba, but El Salvador. If y'all ever know about El Salvador prisons, go to YouTube and look it up.
I'm Hispanic and I vote for Mr. Trump. We vote for Mr. Trump. Yes, Mr. Trump.
President Trump, we love you. We will support you all the way to the end. Thank you for everything you've been doing.
Ay, 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 por Dios. Ay, por Dios. Yo voy a votar por Donald Trump.
Where are my Miami Cubans at? Stand up for what you supported in 2024. Oh, you thought he wasn't talking about you, right? He wasn't talking about you. He was talking about the illegals. Even though we tried to tell you, if your skin color was brown and you talk Spanish, he wants you out of the country. You thought, oh, he's not talking about me. We tried to warn you. The mass deportations in U.S. history affect communities of color indiscriminately. How do they know if you're undocumented or not? They're going to harass you. So even revoking legal status for 500,000 Cubans, Haitians, Nicaraguans, and Venezuelans, how are they going to find out which ones just lost their legal status? Where are they going to find them? They're going to be searching these neighborhoods, as they have been already. You know, when I moved from Michigan to Florida, I was young, naive. I didn't know what had happened in 2000, but I was shocked when I learned that Cubans in Miami were Republicans, because coming from Michigan, I knew who the Republicans were, and they couldn't stand the Cubans. And it's like, you're voting for people who can't stand you. They tolerate you because you stay in Miami and you're not venturing out to Iowa. You're not venturing out into the Midwest to realize that the people you're supporting want you out of their country. FAFO. But stand up and own what you supported. Round of applause. Greatness is here. Enjoy it.
You know, Miami, Florida is one of the homes to the largest Cuban American communities in the United States. For decades, they have been proud bunch of people for their rich cultural heritage and their history of fighting for freedom. But in the recent years, many in this community have begun to regret a big decision that they made voting in for Mr. DT. In the 2024 elections, many Cuban Americans supported Donald Trump, believing his hardline stance on Cuba would help protect their families and freedoms. They felt that Trump, with his tough rhetoric, would be a strong defender of their interests. But over the time, some have begun to question whether they made the right choice. Why are so many Cuban Americans now regretting? Why are they regretting that they voted in Mr. DT? To understand this, we'll need to look at some of the policies that are heavily impacting on them. One of the major decisions that has caught many Cubans, or has caught the attention of many Cubans, is the Trump redesigning of Cuba as a state sponsor of terrorism. This decision leads to an increase in sanctions on Cuba, targeting the Cuba government and the military. The U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio has defended this move, stating that it's essential to hold the Cuban government accountable. They have been on record, guys, warning, especially recently, they warned the Caribbean communities that if they don't do away with the Cuban doctors, they are going to have visa restrictions to the leaders and their families. Their visas are going to be totally removed. Cuba, as I speak, is listed as one of the countries that is red, that is having a visa restriction. It's like a terrorist country. It's listed with some of the countries like Afghanistan. The visas to Cuba have been removed. And the relationship between Cuba and the United States has been bittersweet. Yes, the United States took part in helping them as they were going for independence, but as time went by, Fidel Castro nationalized some of the companies from the United States, and this made the relationship to start to become worse. Also, one thing that when some of the Cubans in the 1980s, when they were being taken to the United States, Fidel Castro took, or rather, selected the people who were not good in the society. That is the people from the jailbirds and other people who are in jail, people who were not good in their society, and brought them to the United States. So far, they have been living all these years, and they have incorporated into the system of United States. Many of the Cuban, when they were voting in for Mr. DT, they thought that Trump was trying to bring about the change in Cuba, but they didn't realize how hard these sanctions would hit their families who still have ties there. Trump's message was clear. His policies were meant to punish the Cuban government, but for many Cuban Americans, the consequences are turning out to be harsher than expected.
So this is what I'm trying to understand here. What did Cubans who voted for Trump think? Did they think they were special? Did they think that Trump, who had been saying for months, even years, that TPS was not a legal way to come into the country, who thought that everybody from Latin America was munching of the government, who talked about the largest deportation in history, was going to just look the other way when it came to Cubans? Because what? Because they're special? These are the same Cubans that for a while kept talking about Mexicans and Central Americans and South Americans and saying that we were munching of the government for some weird reason, when most immigrants don't munch of the government because they don't even have a social security number. But well, I digress. The point is this: the guy told you straight up what he was going to do, and you thought you were exempt of whatever measure he wanted to take, and you didn't care about the rest of the people that were going to get hurt, and you still don't. And now you're crying on social media saying that they're illegally taking the people that he promised to pardon you if you had, like, some guys, or say, like, if you had a college degree, then, or you were going to school. What do they think? That the rest of us don't have education, or that the rest of us don't speak multiple languages? We do. And most of us work hard and have an organized life. It's not like Cubans are the exception to everybody else. That's what happens when you feel you're special like this for no valid reason whatsoever. Then when reality sets in, it feels like a brick right across your face. So you're in the find out phase because you guys voted for this and you guys supported this. You guys supported a guy who put the embargo back on your island. And now the people that you have down there are suffering. Now you can't go visit him anymore. And on top of that, you're getting deported over there. So you voted for the guy who set up the embargo to send you back again to that embargo that you escaped from. So don't come crying.
While the actions of Trump were designed to target the Cuban government, they inadvertently hurt Cuban American families, especially those with relatives in Cuba. The sanctions allegedly restricts remittances and travel, which makes it harder for people to send money or visit their loved ones in Cuba, or the other way around, the Cubans to come and visit their loved ones in the United States. And for a community that values family above all, this is a very big blow. In addition to his Cuban policies, Trump's approach to immigration has also impacted Cuban Americans. Under his administration, there has been more aggressive deportations, including deportations of Cuban migrants who have been living in the United States for years. Although the Trump administration has made some exceptions for Cuban immigrants, many are still at risk. Policies like Remain in Mexico program affect Cuban migrants trying to seek asylum, forcing many to wait in dangerous conditions. Many Cuban families fear that their loved ones could be sent to El Salvador or forced to live in unsafe areas. Many Cuban Americans who voted for Trump in the 2024 are now questioning their decisions. What seemed like a tough stance against the Cuban government is turning out to affect their own families, causing pain and division. Some Cubans supported Trump because they thought he was the only one who understood the Cuban struggle. But now they see that these policies is making things worse for their families. The Cuban community is trying to speak out not just for themselves, but for the future of Cuban Americans and the people of Cuba. They are praying for policies that will bring families together and improve the lives of people both in Cuba and in the United States.
Well, I wonder how these Cubans and Venezuelans who voted for Trump are feeling today. Because as of March 25th, Donald Trump signed an executive order which says they have 30 days to leave the country. If not, they'll be rounded up and not sent back to Venezuela nor Cuba, but El Salvador. If y'all ever know about El Salvador prisons, go to YouTube and look it up. Nobody wants to go to El Salvador. But these people voted for Trump against their own interests. If you'd have voted for Kamala Harris, you wouldn't be facing these things. So the executive order took place March 25th. Now, y'all got 30 days to get out the country. Tell me how you like that now, since y'all love Trump so much.
Ordered the deportation of 500,000 Cuban, Venezuelan, and Haitian immigrants that came here the right way. And my question for my fellow Cubans is, are y'all still feeling special? My entire childhood was spent being fed the narrative that our family came here the right way, and that everybody else that's complaining about being deported, well, they just need to go back to where they came from, start the process over legally. I don't want to ever hear another Cuban American say some shit like that ever again. I'm gonna laugh in your face. Maybe you all will finally realize that no matter how much you try to blend into white Western European culture, no matter how much you try to pretend that you don't eat ham croquettes for breakfast and that you've never had ajiaco for dinner in your entire life, the problem is that Donald Trump is never going to see you as human. It's always been about racism. Here's the part that we like to talk about in our homes when no one else is listening, but I'm going to go ahead and say the quiet part out loud. You all think that you are better than every other type of Latino American. Conservative Cuban Americans, MAGA Cuban Americans, think that you are better than every other flavor of Latino American. And now we have proof. You are no different. We are no better than anybody else. No matter how many times you place your vote for Donald Trump and the Republican Party, they are still going to see you as subhuman. And even if you hang your hat on the fact that you came here the right way, at the end of the day, it's not going to matter to him, because if he wants you gone, he's going to find a way to disappear you.
Dear Cuban Americans, the ones that were eligible to vote, the ones that had their green card and citizenship here in the United States, I just came across that video, and even for you, my heart just breaks. Because it talks about them going to the markets and there's no food there. And then they come here and they see a Walmart filled with food and they don't even know how to behave. And I don't know how you could have voted for this, celebrated this, sung about this, knowing that you were voting for a dictator because he told you he was going to be a dictator. And I expected you firsthand to know the difference. To know the difference because you come from a country that has a dictator. And I don't know how you could have done this to your own people, that now there's no chance for anyone else from your country to come here or from your island. And a lot of you will be returning because citizenship is on the chopping block. But I told you that before the election. I don't know how you guys sleep at night. And you have the community in uproar. You voted 78% for this. So yeah, you can be blamed for this. My heart breaks for those that are going without food in your country, but I could have never. It's a betrayal of your own kind.
As the Cuban American community continues to navigate the consequences of their political choices, they should remain strong and know that their journey is far from over, since this is FAFO season, a season of finding out. Thank you so much for staying tuned to this channel. If you have not subscribed to this channel, do me the favor of subscribing to this channel. Remember to like this video, leave your sweet comment, and also you can share this video out so that YouTube algorithm may recommend this video and more of my videos. Thank you so much. Until next time, God bless.